We all know these people. They like to travel, they like to experience new things. They are open to any adventure, and ideally they would even devote their lives to that. They dream about living abroad, and when it happens, they immerse themselves in a new culture. They absorb the culture of the country they live in. Their goal is to experience everything and feel as you're local. But what if you're not like that? What if you're not an adventurer? I spent the majority of my life not even thinking about moving to other countries. I mean, honestly, even if I'd go places for my vacation, I can, of course, walk a little bit there, check a few main boxes for this particular place, and then spend half of the time inside. Or, for example, go somewhere just for a few days and spend the rest of the vacation at home. And every time I share it with someone, I receive mostly confused comments like, you sure you're doing it right? Or when people hear that I didn't go anywhere for the vacation, sometimes they can react like, "Aw, don't you worry, you will go somewhere next time." And I know, I'm not the only person who experienced that. But yeah, generally my attitude towards traveling was always kind of different than I observed in the people around me. I started to think about relocating for work maybe 5 years ago. And the reason behind this, the goal behind this was not to change countries, most definitely not for life. My original goal was to experience a different working environment. At that time, I already worked for many years in a corporate. I worked with expats from other countries. I didn't feel that I fit perfectly in a Russian working environment, and I really wanted to experience something different, mostly from a working perspective. So I started to think about relocating. And in 2020, I got accepted to an MBA program at RSM in the Netherlands. And to be honest, I didn't think it will be the way how I relocate through studying, so it wasn't my original plan. But I knew that I want to have an MBA, I knew why I need MBA, so I did it not in order to move countries. Though there are a lot of people who are using education as a relocation leverage. They pick a university abroad to move to another country, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It just wasn't my personal motivation for doing an MBA. But after I moved to the Netherlands, I've met even more amazing people hungry for adventures in a new country, these natural travelers. And once again, I felt like an outsider because my way of living my life, of experiencing life was different. I mean, it can be kind of frustrating when everyone around you value travel that much, when they genuinely enjoy it so much, while you recalling all your previous traveling experiences are like, meh, yeah, new places, yeah, different people, but it just genuinely doesn't inspire you that much. You actually get tired of being in a holiday destination for a long time. At some point, you just want to go home. I mean, home is nice, you like being at home. And I'm that kind of person, and I know I'm not the only one who experienced the same thing. But I also wanted to work in another country. So that kind of put me in a really uncomfortable position. That's why I want to share with you how I personally tackle that. How you can move countries if you're not a natural traveler. When I was analyzing my own experience of moving countries, I identified 3 things that really helped me on the way. And the first one is plan and prioritize stabilization above new experiences. It is a little bit easier said than done, because when we move to a new place, when we move to a new country, there is a certain expectation, I would say, from us. Our friends, our family members, they're calling us, they're asking, oh, how's the place? Have you been here? Have you been there? Have you watched this? Why are you staying at home? You're in a new country, you have to explore. Because the sooner you explore, the sooner you will feel comfortable in a new place. And because of that, sometimes we tend to maybe push ourselves a little bit towards this exploring process in a new place while we're not feeling comfortable ourselves yet. I know that, for example, for myself, it is super crucial to have a comfortable, safe place at home. It's like a basic thing, like a necessity to me. How can I, leave my comfort zone to go and explore all these new things before I even build this comfort zone to myself? That's why what we need to do is we need to plan. We need to plan before we actually moved, with our cold head, allocating enough time for us to properly settle down, manage expectations of our friends and family, explaining them that yes, you will be busy at first and there is absolutely no need to pressure you. So once again, please put the stabilization time for yourself first. The second tip, find your pace of processing new experience. I remember when I personally started to feel more or less comfortable in the country, yes, I started being more open to new things. I started travel places, I started experiencing new food, trying to talk to locals to understand what's basically going on here. And after some time, I started to feel so uncomfortable. And I didn't even know why. I just felt regret that I moved. I wanted to go back home immediately. I was borderline freaking out. And after some time, I realized that the problem was not in the local culture or in the food or in anything else. The problem was the pace that I have picked to experience everything in a new country. I just couldn't keep up. I pushed myself too hard, and that's why I felt almost a resistance. I was not listening to myself properly and carefully enough. That's why I do believe that it's important for us to be gentle with ourselves, to listen to ourselves carefully. Because in the end, you won't benefit from pushing yourself too hard. You won't enjoy the environments around you properly, and you will stress yourself out at the same time. Maybe you won't feel it instantly, but it can be a compounding thing. So please find your own pace of processing all these new experiences. And finally, the third thing that helped me is to be honest to myself about my own motivations, about my own why am I here, why am I doing this. What I mean by that is different people are moving countries with different intentions, with different motivation behind this. And some people do relocate because they're such a natural adventurers, they're natural travelers. They just enjoy this experience as it is. So for them, it may sound stupid if after moving you're not instantly going out there to experience the country, to see everything, to feel everything. For them, this is counterintuitive because this is actually why you're doing this. And because of that, we need to remind ourselves, why are we doing this? In my case, I came to study, I came to experience different working culture. So for me, this was primary. Traveling in the Netherlands and, trying Dutch food was secondary. And this is absolutely fine. We need to remember that our way is as good as the others. Yes, maybe sometimes for someone it may look a little bit unconventional. But who cares? I mean, it's our life. And yes, I think I do put my personal comfort and mental sanity above the expectations of how travels should look like, how vacation should look like, how relocation to a new country should look like. Yes, it's a different way, but come on, it's as good as the others. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're like me, just not a natural adventurer or traveler, I'm with you. And if you are, that's also amazing. I respect your way of exploring the reality, it's just not my cup of tea. Also, don't be a stranger. Subscribe, leave a comment. I actually try to answer comments when I have enough time and energy, so hope to see you there. Bye!